showing how using our new PopDoc Universal MCP server configured for DataBlend can leverage DataBlend's API capabilities to use, Claude or the LLM of your choice to conversationally work through building collectors, queries, data targets, any element in DataBlend, and build workflows end to end. You can even use the conversation steps to help inform what you're looking to do so you can get to better results, such as when you build the query, tell it you're going to, what I'll show is that we're going to send in sales orders so it knows how to format that query to what the sales orders data target is going to require. So to do this, we're using the PopDoc MCP server. So I have some pre-built prompts that come with the platform that are going to help us with what we're doing. So we're going to say, let's go ahead and create some collectors. I've done this in testing a couple times, so we're going to change the names a little bit so that we get new information. Say this is, create 3 and we'll create 4. So what this is going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to get the information from HubSpot that we need. I tried to provide, some good guidance, but some vague information so that the AI can help us. I said I'm going to be posting sales orders, so why don't you pick the fields that I want, and then I'm going to be joining these two together. So eventually these two data sets, so why don't you help build these collectors in a way that will support that? So it's got the information it's needing. Sometimes it has to cycle through this a couple times to find the source. Got my credentials. Okay, created the deals. Now it's creating the companies pool. Great, that's complete. So it's going to tell us what it did. It added a company's association as we're working with the two data sets. You can see here the fields it added. Here are the fields from the company collector. So now let's take to the next step and we're going to format the data. So we're going to go in and we're going to say, going to go out and get the data sets that we just created, find the components, and then it's going to work through the build of the query. Has to get the schemas. All of this is working through our MCP server. Finds the field that it's going to join on. It also noted that there can be opportunities for duplication, so it's going to dedupe in the query, focusing on the primary company name. That's a good catch that we had not suggested, but would have needed to be dealt with. So you can see here it's created my query. It is noting that we would have opportunities to improve this data. This is demo data, so you really would query your intact data to get your correct company ID and maybe work through a few more steps. Okay, so now we're going to create the data target to say Ginta. Going to go find the rules. Okay, it's telling you what it's done. Again, it's telling me things about this that you might want to examine. So again, we're working through this in an example context. There's opportunities to improve this. Let's now create a new workflow. Okay, so we're giving it a name. And we're going to tell it to build the workflow. We'll work through finding all of the IDs and all of the associated things needed in the rules to make DataBlend work from each of the steps. Now, you could have done this in part, not all in one, and you would be able to have built a query another time, go use that. Okay, so we've done this a couple times, so it did find the most recent one we created, so that's good. It's going to step through that into collectors. It's great. Finding the query we built. And the data target, or as the backend knows it, a data sink. So now I see it can tell you here's the name, and it's going to tell you all the steps of what it did. See there, we're complete. So if we jump over to DataBlend and we go look in the workflow section, you'll see here's that workflow. It's got all of the underlying components that we built down to the target. We jump into the query just to look under the hood. You can see it built a fairly, it finds the primary deals, it makes them unique, and then it maps them to intact so that you get to the correct data format. So an interesting thing, there is an error in this query build. So we can actually inspect this output and see what is wrong and get that corrected. So let's actually try that step. So we're now going to go query that data. So it's fixing its this, and it's updating the query. Okay, so it's now pushed back over. We jump back into DataBlend and we refresh. See, it no longer has that data set error. So we're able to not only build, but also inspect to create and update. The whole idea here is making a conversational experience that you can work, again, in the LLM of your choice. We are also going to be launching the ability to bring the chat experience into DataBlend. So this is a bit of a mock-up of what that's going to look like. The Sidekick chat experience will exist to the right on DataBlend. All of the functionality that we were just going through would exist, and you'll be able to go through that build in the sidebar, also inspecting data, other things of that nature. So that is coming functionality. The MCP capabilities, the working in Claude, like I just showed, that's available today. And certainly we believe adds a lot of ability to streamline your ability to deploy DataBlend.